Hi, my name is Nurul Atira. Today I will tell about introduction. The hazard identification, risk assessment and risk control assessment was carried out by Stasia Senior Berhad. In contrast to the OSHA 1994, 9 work which was assessed on 21 September 2022. The work area which may have risk is identified below: receiving and outgoing, laboratory, ammonization, workshop, and office work. The high-risk assessment was carried out by a task force comprising namely Rafiq Haikal bin Muhammad Ali Hussein and Muhammad Amar bin Mustafa Kamal. This is rating and description for likelihood. Rating 5, most likely. The most likely result of hazard or event be realized. Rating 4, possible. Has a good chance of occurring and is not unusual. Rating 3, conceivable. Might be occur sometime in the future. Rating 2, remote. Has not been known for many years. Rating 1 is inconceivable, is practically impossible and has never occurred. This page for methodology. The steps to carry out the hierarchy were in accordance with the DOSH Guideline Hierarchy 2008. Identify the process activity or location and condition. Identify routine and non-routine process, activity or condition. Assign the likelihood ranking. Assign the severity ranking. Assign the risk ranking based on calculation. Assign the priority ranking. Identify current risk control and recommend risk control measure. This is severity table. Have a rating 5 of likelihood. 5. Severe and catastrophic fatality. Description is numerous fatality in cover property damage and productivity. 4 is major. Approximately one single fatality major property damage is hazard is released. 3 is medium, non-fatal injury, permanent injury. 2 is minor, disabling but not permanent injury. And 1 negligible, minor erosion, bruise cut, first aid and type injury.
Hi, my name is Nurakila binti Roslain. So I will tell about the priority. So priority I have a divide by 3 description. First is height, second is medium, third is a low. Okay, risk for height is from 15 to 25. Their action is the risk require immediate action to control the hazard as a deter in the hierarchy of control. Action taken must be documented on the risk assessment from including data of completions. Second is in medium, risk is from 5 to 12. The risk required a planned approach to control the hazard and apply temporary measure if required. Action taken must be documented on the risk assessment from including data of complications. Third is a low, from 1 to 4. The risk may be considered as acceptable and further reductions may not be necessary. However, if the risk can share solved quickly and efficiently, control measures should be implemented and recorded. Okay, so we move to hierarchy of control. Image by Nihosh have 5 hierarchy of control. The most effective is eliminations. Second is substitutions. Third is engineering control. Fourth is administrative control, and the least of effective is PPE. Okay, elimination is for physical remove the hazards. Substitutions is replace the hazards. Engineering control is isolates people from the hazards. Five is administrative control is change the way people works, and five PPE protect the workers with personal protective equipments. The success number height are sharing the hierarchy forms. So we can refer their forms, which is location, front and back entrance. The process is receiving and outgoing, and what activity is have to incoming of raw material and unloading of raw materials. Okay, so we move to hazard. For incoming of raw materials, have to vehicle moving on the roads, and the second is a lorry or trailer parking for unloading the raw materials. Which can cause effect for two hazards? The two is the same, is a bodily injury. Then exiting risk controls, engineering control cones for two hazards. So we can see the table, which is a likelihood and seniority is a 4. Recommended control measure for vehicle moving on the roads is allocate person in charge to supervise the traffic while the unloading process. And for recommended control measure for lorry or trailer parking for unloading the raw material is allocate person in charge to supervise the traffic while the unloading process is also same. Okay, so next we move to unloading of raw materials. Hazard is a movement of forklift, which can cause effect is a bodily injury. And the existing risk control is different with incoming of the raw material, which is administrative control forklift trainings. Likelihood and severity also same with incoming of raw material is a 4. But it's different for recommended control measures. Recommended control measure for unloading of raw material is ensure only trainer employer are allowed to operate the forklift. Second is a provide pedestrian walkway, and third is a put on a warning signage on the forklift operating area. So we move to second hierarchy form, which is the laboratory, storage area, and the missing tank. Process for this location is laboratory. The work activity have a three. First is sampling of raw materials. Second is sampling of ammonizations and finished good in process control. Third is laboratory testing. Activity for sampling of raw materials for their hazard is exposed to chemical, which can cause an health effects. Exerting risk control, need to use PPE, glove, disposable mask. Likelihood and severity is a 9, and the recommended control measure is provide to the employee on the chemicals handling procedures. And second is provide proper PPE and ensure the maintenance of the PPE. Okay, second is a chemicals spillage, which can cause an effects in burn and irritations. Exerting risk controls, need to use PPE, glove, disposable and mask. Likelihood and severity is a 3, and the recommended control measure is ensure the SDS are available and reachable at the area of the sampling, and also need to provide training to the employee on the chemicals handling procedure.
Hazard identification activities, sampling of ammonization and finished good in process control. The hazard is exposed to chemical spillage, sip and trip, which can cause or effect health effect, burn and irritation, and body injury. Risk control that recommended to control the measure for exposed to chemical. We can provide training to the employee on the chemical handling procedure, provide proper PPE, and ensure the maintenance of the PPE. For chemical spillage, ensure the SDS are available and reachable at the area of sampling, provide training to the employee and the chemical handling procedure. And for the sit and treat, we can measure that by ensure the employee to wear steady shoes, ensure the area of the sampling area clear from the obstructing object. For laboratory testing, the hazard such as exposed to chemical and ergonomics, which can cause an effect to the health effect and back pain. Recommended control measure is for exposed to chemical, provide training to the employee on the chemical handling procedure, provide proper PPE and ensure the maintenance of the PPE. And for the ergonomics, we can recommend it for provide chairs that has lumbar support and armrests for the employees. Hazard identification, reassessment and risk control hierarchy form for mixing tanks. Activities: handling of the gas cylinder. The hazard is movement of forklift that can cause an effect such as body injured, and the risk control for control measure is to ensure only trained employees are allowed to operate the forklift, provide a pedestrian walkway, and put on signage or the forklift operating area. Dosing gas into reactor. The hazard is leaking of the gas, which can cause or effect adverse health effect. Recommended countermeasures are provide training to the employee on the chemical handling procedure, provide proper PPE and ensure the maintenance of the PPE, provide training to employee on handling of the chemical, and the last one is ensure the SDS are available and reachable at the work area. The next is temperature monitoring. The hazard is noise, which can cause hearing loss, and the recommended control measure are provide proper PPE such as earmuff, earplug, and ensure the maintenance of the PPE. To provide nose training to the workers annually, and recommended warning signage of the hearing protection zone at the work area. And the last activity are handling the piping. The hazard are the number one is impact, which can cause or effect bodily injury. The risk control recommended countermeasures are putting a signage on the platform and provide safety helmet to the employee. The second one is slip and trip that can cause or effect to the bodily injury, and to ensure recommended control measures are ensure proper housekeeping of the hose and piping. And the last one is leaking of the hose or piping, which can cause or effect chemical spillage and explosions. And the risk control recommended measures are ensure preventive maintenance of the hose and piping are done accordingly, and provide warning signage on the work area. Hazard identification, risk assessment and risk control hierarchy form for workshop. Activities such as grinding, hazard such as ergonomics, which can cause or effect back pain. Risk control recommended control measure, provide training on manual handling, ergonomic training, job rotation of the employee. Hazard, contact with moving part, which can cause or effect bodily and injury. Risk control recommended measures such as ensure only trained employee allowed to operate the grinder, ensure the employee use the proper PPE while operating the grinder.
Hi, Assalamualaikum. My name is Muhammad Amir Robin Anwar. I will continue about workshop activity breathing. Breathing have two hazard. Debris from breathing or spark or noise. We go to debris from breathing spark, which can cause effect of bodily injury or source of ignition. Existing risk control is glove. Risk ranking is 8. Recommendation control measure provide PPE, safety glass, and ensure the maintenance of the PPE. Inspect the grinder before operating the grinder. Ensure proper housekeeping of the area and avoid any combustible material nearby. Next is noise, which can cause hearing loss. And risk ranking is 12. So provide proper PPE, example earmuff, earplug, and ensure the maintenance of the PPE. To provide noising training to workers annually, recommended warning signage of hearing, protection zone at work and area. Okay, next we go to activity painting. Painting have two hazards: exposure to chemical and ingestion of chemical material. We go to first, exposure to chemical. This can cause adverse health effect. To control, we need to glove, disposable mask, safety shoe. Risk ranking is 9. Recommended provide training to the employee on the chemical handling procedure. Provide proper PPE and ensure the maintenance of the PPE. Next is ingestion of chemical material. Can cause adverse health effect. To control, we need to glove, disposable mask, safety shoes. Risk ranking is 4. We recommended to ensure the employee to maintain the personal hygiene. Prohibit the food and drink in the work area. Okay, we go next to cutting activity. So hazard is sharp edge. Can cause cuts or first aid type injury. To control, we need to cotton glove. Risk ranking is 3. Recommended to provide anti-cut glove to employee. Next is welding activity. We have two hazards: heat and debris from welding or spark. So we go to first is heat. Can cause a bodily injury. To control, we need glove, welding mask. So this ranking is 4. To recommended provide proper PPE and ensure the maintenance of the PPE. Next is debris from welding spark. Can cause bodily injury or source of ignition. Glove, we need to control, we need to glove, welding mask. This ranking is 8. Recommended to provide proper PPE and ensure the maintenance of the PPE. Inspect the equipment before operating the welding. Ensure proper housekeeping of the area and avoid any combustible material nearby. Okay, 4.6, we go to activity storage of equipment. Storage of equipment have two hazards: falling object and slip and trip. So we go to falling object. From falling object can cause a bodily injury. Risk control, we need to safety shoe. Risk ranking is 9. Recommended to ensure proper housekeeping of the area. Next is to construct barrier at the shelf to avoid falling object. Okay, next we to slip and trip. So this hazard can cause a bodily injury. To control, we need safety shoe. Risk ranking is 8. Recommended ensure proper housekeeping of the workshop. Ensure the working road area clear from obstructing object. Okay, lastly, the activity 4.7 is drilling. So hazard context with moving part, bodily injury can cause risk control. We need to glove. So risk ranking is 6. So recommended ensure only trained employee allowed to operate the grinder. Ensure the employee use the proper PPE while operating the drilling machine. Okay, lastly we go to office. From office location, office work, and office related work. So from office we get the hazard, have to hazard. So from ergonomic, and second is fall and trip, use of if use of stair. So from we go through first is ergonomic. Can cause back pain. We not have to risk control. Risk ranking is 8. So recommended provide training on manual handling or ergonomic training. Next is provide adequate furniture. So second is fall and trip, use of stair. This can cause bodily injury. Risk control is engineering control handrail. So risk ranking is 8. We recommend ensure the stairs are clear from any obstacle and regularly clean the stair. Okay, in conclusion, the area of which exposed at the Stasia Sedian Berhad, located at Lot 161 Jalan Perigi Nanas, H Road 113, Taman Perindustrian Pulau Indah, 4,000 to 42,920, Pelabuhan Kelang, Selangor, Malaysia. SB identified access and control measures were evaluated. The assessment that was carried out meet the general and specific objective. The company has a majority of medium and low risk activity that require planned approach to control the hazard and apply temporary measure if required. That's all from us. Thank you.